All right, I want to talk to all these MAGA influencers who have suddenly decided that the wing of MAGA who doesn't buy the Kool-Aid tale of the Epstein Files is suddenly now we're weirdos and we're, living in our attics because we're conservatives. We don't live in our mom's basements. We hide in our own attics. Apparently, what GOP people do to you people, anyway. That's the one I'm hearing a lot. Well, anyway, I want to ask you, influencers now that have suddenly become enlightened in the last 5 days, how much money did you make off of all the Epstein videos that you've done since 2019? And if you suddenly believe this new Kool-Aid formula for the Epstein files, then why don't you take that money that you made off your clickbait, off your super chats that we were glad handing over to you because you wanted the same thing that we did. We wanted the truth. Now, all of a sudden, we're weirdos. And you're these arbiters of truth that you just came to 5 days ago. Because you know what? Not one of you had this position 5 days ago. Not a single one of you. And if you tell me you do, you better have some receipts. Because all the influencers I know of now that are turning on us, that are playing these propaganda films that could have been out in 1984 about how we're such weirdos for following this and sticking to our guns and not being inconsistent since 2019 to now. Now all of a sudden, we're the enemy. We're the weirdos. We've been the same since 2019. You changed in the last 5 days. How does that make us weird? So now to you, the Epstein file suddenly not important? What happened? You lose your backbone? Did a little birdie maybe talk in your ear and get you to bend that backbone a little bit? It's crazy how many of you just turned on us in one day. And it was a whole bunch of you all at once, almost like that little birdie made the rounds and got into a lot of little ears all at once, all of a sudden. And the other thing is the tactic that you're using. This is the tactic that the left uses, the ad hominem. Suddenly now we're pictured as weirdos. You're trying the tactics they used during when we were the ones fighting the conspiracy theories that have now all been proven true, where the tinfoil hatters. So now you're turning us into that, you're trying to make us into that wing of the party. I'd be very careful what you're doing right now, because everything that you're showing me is that you're hypocritical. As I stated, not one of you had that position 5 days ago. Now you suddenly have that position, and now suddenly you're the voice of authority on this? Really? Well, if you are, then show me that you're sincere. All this Epstein stuff didn't mean nothing to you. So I want to see where you gave away all your Epstein money from all those Epstein videos and any other Epstein thing you ever made $1 off of. Your shirts, your mugs, everything else that you used the Epstein story to sell and advertise. All right? Since now you suddenly have become enlightened, then you should not want that filthy, dirty money that we weirdos up in the attic gave you. So give it back. Give it to some charity that helps children who have been treated in an Epstein way by somebody. How about that? Do that. Because you don't believe it anymore. So to keep that money would be hypocritical, wouldn't it? Certainly seems so to me. So now suddenly people that are your close friends, that were your close friends, people you loved online, yeah, thank you. 25,000 subscribers, thank you. Yeah, some of us were in that 25,000, 250,000, whatever your number of subscribers are that you like to rattle off before every video. Okay? We're there. And now all of a sudden, we're weirdos. We were fine up until then, but now we're weirdos. Well, I want to ask you something. If this Epstein thing is an old pesky thing from 2019, old pesky thing, still in Trump's first term, by the way, then all this justice that we're hunting for on the Russian dossier from 2015 should already be long past your statute of limitations on old things that we shouldn't look into. Am I wrong? I mean, if something from 2019 is old things, Some from 2015 is even older things. And then if you're telling me that, oh, well, the deep state messed with the Epstein files, well, don't you think they would have messed with the Russia Gate files too from 2015? It's all been under the same custody. So now I want you to reconcile that to me before you insult me again. All right? Reconcile that to me. Explain to me how one thing has a statute of limitations and the other thing doesn't. You sound like a leftist. If you even try to justify that, you sound like a leftist. And most of us that are mad about this are healthy MAGA. All right? We still don't like this murky nonsense, but we ride with Trump. We got Trump's back. We are thanking God every day for the 90% of things that he's doing that we did vote for, the things that are going to save our country, getting the illegal aliens out of here, fighting terrorism. And you'll see some of that coming up in the near future. I'm already starting to see things that are beginning to happen there. And you're going to see a whole bunch of that stuff get uprooted in the near future. There are so many things I am thankful for Trump for. This does not bring down his presidency for me, but it is a murky thing, and I am not going to let it go because I am not a hypocritical person. I believe the same as 2019 as I do now. There's something there, and I want to know what it is. And I have a right to know what it is because a big part of the fight that I fought for MAGA was so that these things would be open. There would be transparency of all these things. And you tell me that you were any different than I was, but now you suddenly are different than I am. How do you explain that? I need you to justify it to me because I don't see what you're doing. I don't understand why you suddenly have to insult us because we disagree with you. We were willing to go along with you people that decided to drink the Kool-Aid. Like, I'm going to mention one name and one name only, Charlie Kirk, because he handled it in the gold standard way. Yes, I've lost respect for him. Yes, I no longer trust his judgment, but I respect the fact that he was at least able to say that he was doing this without having to insult the people that are very passionate about it. The rest of you who have made your money off your Epstein videos all these years and are now hurling insults at us for the things that we supported consistently all this time, you're acting in a hypocritical manner, and you tell me how you're not. For those of you that say the Epstein thing is old, but the Russian dossier thing isn't, 2015 Russian dossier, 2019 Epstein files, you're a hypocrite. Or you're acting in a hypocritical manner. I'm sorry, I don't like to call people names. But you're acting in a hypocritical manner. I want to know what the hell changed. I want to know why you think that now all of a sudden you have to insult us instead of just say, look, this is what I accept and that's it. Yeah, you're going to have to deal with people nagging you about it because there are people that are never going to let it go. But now you've created the Streisand effect because now I can't ride with you anymore. Because even though we believe 90% of the same stuff, you're going to call me this, that, and the other thing because of the one thing that we disagree on. I can disagree with Charlie Kirk on this. And I can still like Charlie Kirk. I could still tacitly listen to Charlie Kirk. All right. And I could still respect at least when Charlie Kirk does something or says something that's of note. But I can't respect any of you that suddenly turn on your brothers and sisters, that suddenly break out your rabid dog teeth on us like the left would do when they're faced with a conflict within their ranks. That's not how MAGA handles things. We discuss things, we talk it out. And yeah, there are going to be some things we never agree upon. But there's a whole lot more that we all do have in common. And if you're going to start hurling insults at people that disagree with you, well, where's that line going to end? Because what's the next thing that they're going to do that some of us are going to disapprove of? All right. And we're still willing to take that healthy approach. Okay, well, we disapprove of him doing this, but, you know, we still approve of his presidency. We still got Trump's back. But to you, because we have these issues here, now suddenly we're not part of MAGA anymore. We're not part of anything MAGA you want to be associated with. We've suddenly become that scuzzy uncle there up in the basement, up in the attic. Keep wanting to put myself in the basement. Thing is, look, we're going to be choosing the successor to MAGA, all right? And what, 3.5 years? 3 years, you might as well say. And you were the people we were going to ride with, because you noticed after the election, you were all crying about how your numbers went down. Well, that's just natural. That's how it happens. But you're also anticipating the days when your numbers go up when the next election occurs. Am I correct? Well, we ain't riding with you no more, because we're not part of MAGA to you. So we'll be MAGA over here. And we may vote for the same person in the end, but we're not going to MAGA with you right now because you think that we're crazy. And I don't want people thinking that we're crazy. I think that you drank the Kool-Aid, but it's okay. I can live with you having that opinion, but not when you are trying to insult me for having a different opinion, for being consistent since 2019. People like me, we found better things to do than rally around people who turn on us. We just did. Yesterday, I was one of those great people you were thanking while you were rattling off those subscriber numbers, how great you are, how many people you have backing you up. But now suddenly, we're no good no more. We're not those people anymore, right? Look, I know. Today, now, I'm just an old crippled guy, with a shaky hand and chiclet teeth who's, just ranting and raving and trying to appeal to your conscience. But yesterday, I was one of those great people, that big part of MAGA, how we were all coming together, that big hug, that big tent that we had of MAGA. So now you're going to suddenly kick us out of the tent. What makes you different than any progressive movement? What makes you different than those commies on the left? What makes you different than anything? We still ride with Trump, whether you like us or you don't. But we're not going to go for this, and we're not going to swallow your Kool-Aid. We're not weak-kneed. We have our backbones, and we will remain consistent from 2019 to 2025 and going way beyond. So you spend that Epstein money that you made on all those videos, and you feel good about yourself, how you insulted a bunch of people that you were looking to for, support all this time, because now you feel like you've made it. You don't need us anymore. It's okay. You can start, slicing off pieces of MAGA. Well, like I said, when the election ended, a lot of you lost pieces of your pie, right? Well, you start doing this, and then you pick another subject to slice off another layer, and then another subject, slice off another layer. Pretty soon, your piece of the content maker pie is going to be that. And I don't mean the whole pie. I mean no pie. So I want to thank you. I want to ask you guys to back off. Stop trying to portray us as something that we're not. We're not anything but people who differ with you in opinion. You may question our judgment, we may question your judgment, but we're no different than you are. We're not lower than you are. We're not this or that or any other name that you call us. We are the people who didn't make hypocrites of ourselves by changing our minds 5 days ago after making thousands upon thousands, and in some of your cases, millions of dollars off of Epstein videos. I'm PegLegCraig, and nobody cares. I'm just the old guy with the chiclet teeth. I'm out of here. Thank you.